What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bomb Squad. Happy New Year's 2026 for you, not for us. We're still in the past. This is like our own personal jumper. So let us know if anything has happened, and then send us put it in the comment what's happened in the last 2 weeks, and then we'll check it and we'll tell you if it really happened in our timeline too. But welcome to the Bomb Squad. This is we talk about underappreciated and underrated movies for the month of January. Since it's the start of a new year, we have a theme where we start where directors also started their careers. So this month we're going to be talking about directors who maybe had a very low budget film, or maybe it was a job that they took that they didn't really want to take, something that was not like a studio picture necessarily. And so we're going to talk about famous directors, first ones, the famous ones. I don't know if we're going to cover these, but Kevin Smith with Clerks famously funded it all by himself. There's Following by, is it Following or Followed? Following.
Christopher Nolan?
The Chris Nolan one.
Yeah, Following.
It's Following, yeah. He almost copied me, but then I
sure.
stopped. I sent him a copyright cease and desist and said, don't steal my title from 20 years in the future.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of them, but that's what Eraserhead by the late great David Lynch. So we're going to be talking about those type of films. And so we're starting with one of the best filmmakers of all time. And I think this is only our second film that we're covering of him. We're talking about Steven Spielberg himself. And we're talking about his first film. So I don't know if you guys know this. Back when we were in film schools, it's always been not necessarily urban legend, but just kind of like everyone kind of knew this. But I don't know if you know, listening audience, but Steven Spielberg started off making this film, and it was a TV movie. They just kind of hired him to they were like, he had been working on like TV shows. I think he had directed a couple of episodes of like Amazing Stories and stuff. And so they gave him a TV movie to see how he would do, and it ended up being one of the most successful TV movies of all time. TV movies, for people who don't know, is that, those Netflix movies you saw, those used to come for free on the television with commercials.
Yeah.
And they were, sometimes they're a little bit better acted. Like famous TV movies is It. Stephen King has a whole plethora of famous TV movies. Roots was another one that was like captured the nation. And Duel became another one. When it came out, it had it was the 18th most watched thing of that year. And
that's what I was saying too.
It also it drew an audience share of 33%. That's crazy, especially now when there's like a billion channels and streaming services. To think that 30% of Americans were watching this TV movie. 30% of Americans don't even vote in the elections. So that's crazy. And then eventually, because it was successful, they decided to release it thematically. And so the TV movie was only 74 minutes, because with commercials, you only need 74 minutes. And so they had to expand it. They added a couple of more things that we'll talk about as we talk about the movie. But after that, it's been on home video and all that kind of stuff. And it's been pretty successful if you haven't known. But yes, so we're going to talk about 1971's Duel. It stars Dennis Weaver, and that's pretty much it. He's the only person.
Yeah,
It stars a hand that moves truck, that shifts gears on a truck.
It was written by Richard Matheson based on his own book. Richard Matheson, if you don't know, he also wrote all the good Twilight Zone episodes. He wrote the Terror at 20,000 Feet, which is the famous one that starred William Shatner in the original and John Lithgow in the remake. He wrote I Am Legend.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote The Box. If you've ever heard that urban legend, there's a box. Someone delivers a box to you and they say, if you press it, you get $1 million, but someone in the world dies. And then you're well, yeah, I already pressed it, buddy. Where's my $1 million?
They also made that movie later, and it was not great.
Yeah, they made it into a pretty cool movie.
I remember it was all right.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not
it had
the
some
worst
pretty creepy moments. Yeah.
I don't remember too much about. I remember they're what if it's aliens? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so Duel is about a traveling salesman. They're on the road. They're in the middle of the desert in California. He's trying to meet a client, and he cuts off a semi-truck, and then the semi-truck makes him pay for it for the rest of the film. It's pretty much
that's
an
it.
hour and a half chase between this guy who's like trying to get away from it, and also this truck driver who's relentlessly stalking him. But also, is he? I don't know. It's a very interesting film. But what did you guys think of Duel
Reno. I think it's great. Like I remember watching this whenever we were still in school, and I thought it was pretty cool back then. And I really like rewatching it now. I felt more gripped by it, and
Yeah.
I feel like there's like some interesting themes kind of going on that are like very in the background that we'll kind of get into.
Yeah.
And so it was a good like first showing of Spielberg's like skills of like making something exciting out of nothing, but also making it meaningful.
Yeah.
I think no, I'd never seen. I'd seen clips, but I'd never seen the whole movie. And I did. I thought it was pretty good. I do think it it's very funny if you've seen Meet the Fablemans. Because Meet the Fablemans is basically him being like, "This is what Duel's about. My parents."
Right.
I was struggling with my dad.
Oh, I can see that for sure.
Sure. I mean, yeah, Spielberg, like his main thing is wayward dads don't really.
Yeah,
that's
like
not
that,
like
dads.
That's.
But
like
this guy looks like 1971 Paul Dano. Like it's so like casted to be his father, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think so at the beginning we start off, we're in the city. One of the cool things about this movie is it does really feel like you're like taking a drive or whatever. And so we're in the city as he's kind of leaving. He's going to meet this client. He calls his he's like at a diner. There's a lot of diners in this film. He's at a diner, he calls his wife, and they're having like kind of an argument where they were at a party and like one of their friends was like filling her up.
Yeah.
And he didn't do anything about it. It was like it's also, and this is why I want to talk about this first. So this is one of the things that was added afterwards. And I kind of feel this whole like
TV movie,
driving through the street and calling the wife, all that stuff was added afterwards to get the movie to feature length. And I do almost feel like it's kind of like in The Shining, where there was originally like an ending of The Shining where they're out of the hotel. But it's like once you get on the hotel, I don't really want to leave the hotel after that, like even at the end, you know?
Right, because it's like a chamber drama kind of thing. Yeah.
And
it loses the claustrophobia if you leave.
Yeah. I don't think that this movie is ruined by the addition of these scenes, but I do think it's kind of like it's a hat on a hat, where it's like we don't really need this because it just kind of gives a motivation. Because she's like, that guy was groping me and you guys didn't do anything, and he's like, well, what did you want me to do? Wanted me to like say something, and she's like, "Yeah, are you a man or what?" And I was like, "Am I watching an Andrew Tate video?"
Because there's also, and you said that at the beginning where he's just driving and it's mostly POV shots of the road was just added because that's where it has all the radio, and the only like radio thing it lingers on is a guy who's like, "I'm just a house husband. Am I even a real man?"
Yeah.
And it's like the themes are just hitting you over. And
I know that's like it does very much feel like Steven Spielberg was like, "Screw you, Dad." I'll
like
teach you to cheat on me with Seth Rogen.
And that's kind of like what the whole thing is like this like whole like masculinity thing. Like it kind of becomes like because like the whole chase that we're going to talk about is like it's him not really wanting to deal with it in a way.
Right.
Like he's like
he tries to get out of it. We should say his name. David Mann.
His name is David Mann.
Norm Hall.
His name is David Manless. It's kind of like I saw the like Sylvester Stallone remade Rocky IV. He re-edited it, and they recently released it. And I went to go watch it, and like it's a way worse film when he re-edited it. But one of the scenes that really stuck out is there's like a scene. Rocky IV is the one where he fights the Russians. It's kind of like it was the most Reagan era. Rocky IV, and there's a scene where like Apollo Creed's like, it's not just about the fight, it's about America versus Russia. It's this versus them. We got to show them that we're better than them in our ideology. This is all about how we live and the way of life that Americans have. And it's like, yeah, man. I mean, he wears the flag of America by the end of it. You did not need to sell, like, you did not need to point it out to me. I was quite aware when James Brown was singing "Living in America" in the next scene, and and the guy was killed in an Uncle Sam outfit, that there's probably going to be a Russian versus America thing. You didn't have to point it out to me. And I feel like this is the same thing where it's like, it's not a bad arc, and he still has that arc regardless of it's like this kind of, he's not sure if it's real, but then he also doesn't like he's a genuine fish out of water. So he doesn't know what like the protocol is to tell a guy like there's like a scene later where he fantasizes about going to each of the drivers and like apologizing to them. And it's kind of like even that he's kind of scared to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's like either way, like that is already in every part of the movie. So it didn't need to be explicit. But also I feel like without the wife, like it would literally only be him the entire movie that talks, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So you need there to be stakes too. Like I like I would have liked it if it's just on the road. It starts, we don't know anything about him. We don't know anything about the truck driver. And it's just these two guys going at it over the road. But I do like the addition of the wife. I think that's a cool scene.
I agree. I think that like I know themes are like pretty heavy-handed, but I feel like it just kind of like adds something to the world, and I don't know. It kind of just feels like the beginning of Spielberg in a way. Like I don't know if like he wrote that scene or if like the studio wrote that scene, but that just felt so like if it would have just been like a straight thriller on the road, that would have just kind of felt like maybe like anyone could have made that. Like, not like anyone could have made that well, but like the addition of that scene kind of like I don't know. You're watching, you're like, yeah, this is what Steven's going to do for like the rest of his career is like have these like moments in these
the template's there. It's not quite refined yet, but it's like you see
right.
It.
Yeah.
And also his car is the Plymouth Valiant as well.
Oh yeah,
you guys noticed that.
It's very
just one more addition.
And so before he calls his wife, he's driving, and that's when he cuts off he passes the truck, and the truck passes him back. And so then he passes the truck again, and the truck like blasts its horn. And that's really it. That's like the inciting incident, but we don't know that yet. And so the truck, by the way, literally looks like a monster truck. Like it's all brown.
It's the grossest.
It's hauling gas, so it's all filthy.
It's super flammable. It's also it looks like a truck out of Nothing But Trouble that they would have like retrofitted to be evil.
Yeah.
And so while he's talking to his wife, the truck like parks, and so he's almost thinking like, oh, should I apologize? But no one ever gets out of the truck. It's just sitting there. And also one big thing about this movie, and I think another reason this movie works, and I think this movie kind of helped Spielberg figure out how to do Jaws once that machine didn't work, is that we never really see the truck driver. We see his boots. He has cowboy boots. We see his shoulder, like his arm. We know he's not wearing a full-length shirt. And that's it. Like we don't really see anything else. We mainly see the truck, which I think again, not only does it help, like it makes the movie more mysterious, but also that is what it's like when me and William used to live in LA, and we would drive back and forth between LA and our like New Mexico and Texas. And sometimes I remember one time I was like out in the middle of nowhere, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a nap in this rest stop. And so I took a nap, and then like 5 minutes into it, I woke up and there was just a dude like staring at me. And I was like, all right, nap's over.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Right. Like driving on the road for so long, it's just like so liminal feeling. And it's like if you're in a good mood and you have some good music or something, like that's awesome. And it's like you don't have any responsibilities. You're just kind of, you got to drive. You can't do anything else. But if you're like in a weird mood or frustrated and like that's all you have to think about, like you could feel a little duelish for sure, even without a truck being there, just dwelling on things, you know?
Yeah.
It's that thing where being on the road, I mean, you're part of society and everything, but every once in a while you realize like, oh yeah, I'm in the middle of Arizona and the closest town is like 150 miles away from me. Like there's no way, you know, if you're in a city and like, you know, something happens, it's pretty easy to get to a doctor. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere,
to a doctor first. I think you're talking about how you got a gas.
No, even that
too. Yeah.
But like anything that happens, you're just kind of screwed.
I think it's also like what's kind of funny about it is it's like it's the social, like I guess compact you'd say that's kind of putting him in this weird place because this truck driver has messed with him. But he hasn't like hurt him yet, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like if he tried to like say that, because his wife's like, are you gonna be late? And it's like if he tried to like use that as an excuse, it's like a guy kind of spooked me on the road. And be like, you're the world's biggest coward, but it's like, that would be terrifying, but it's terrifying in a way you can't prove to other people, you know?
Yeah. It's kind of like I think everyone has felt this sometimes when you're like driving home. you're like, man, this car behind me has been following me for way too long. And
yes,
like it's not until they turn or whatever that you're like, okay, it's just a coincidence, like a huge coincidence. But at the time, who knows, you know? And then also, this is a very cool Spielberg-y thing because then he's like getting when he's at the gas station before he leaves, he's getting gas and everything, and then the gas attendant's like, "Hey, you need a radiator hose, huh? Looks like you need a new one." He's like, "Gonna upsell me." Yeah, where have I heard that before? I do like that he also talks to himself a lot, and so he's like, "I don't need it, thanks. I'll do it next time."
Yeah,
and the guy's like, "All right, you're the best."
Cool.
I wonder.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty important line in the movie for sure. It's when he calls him the boss.
Yeah,
so it's like, huh? Is he not at his house? That's what he says. Not at my house, am I?
Yeah.
And so then once they're out on the road, and this is kind of what we're talking about, like the truck just gets in front of him and then refuses to let him pass. Like if he tries to turn, he'll like get in front of him. If he tries to turn the other way, he'll get in front of him. And so like that's not really against the law. That's not even like an evil thing that's just like what the hell's wrong with you, buddy? Like it's such a weird.
I don't even think you get a ticket. Yeah, like a cop might pull you over if they see you doing it a lot, and it's like kind of dangerous. But they'd probably just tell you to knock it off.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, I mean, even if you try to call the cops, you're like, this car is in front of me and I can't pass them. And they're like, yeah, that's how the road works, buddy.
Right. What are you in a Plymouth Valiant?
Yeah. And so then eventually it gets to the point where when he tries to pass him, man nearly hits a car. And so that's when he kind of freaks out. And then like, he's like,
because the truck driver's like, come around. Like, it's all over. Yeah. You can pass now.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, thank God. No.
Yes. And that's what a lot of movie is, where it's like he's driving, he thinks the truck's gone, and then the truck will pop up in his rear view and just like get like that close away from him just constantly, you know, like not hitting him but not letting him.
It's like the childish, like, I'm not touching you.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's also like, if you've ever, especially, I feel like this happened way more as kids. If you get like heated on the freeway or something when you're like 19 and driving, you're like, I am going to get close to this guy. And it's like, there's no reason to do it. It like, it literally would only cause issues. You know,
I know.
Right. And no one learns their lesson on the road. No one's ever like,
when you're angry and
driver.
driving, you're just like, whatever. You know?
Or even like the brake check. It's like, what's the point of this? The worst case scenario is that he crashes into the back of your car. You know,
right? And then you actually should talk to him.
Yeah,
but obviously this truck is, you know, pretty much impervious to anything a Plymouth Valiant could do. So he's totally powerless in this situation.
Well, not only that, but the truck also seems like it's like there's at the very when he's like inspecting the truck, it has a bunch of license plates on it, like from different states, and like it's almost like is this because the truck drives around the whole country, or has he been collecting these like, license plates from other cars? And eventually they get to finally they get to the second diner because he crashes into a fence and nobody's like, hey man,
you gonna pay for that fence?
No, the redneck comes out. I actually like that most of the other characters in this movie are like stock redneck caricatures.
Yeah.
We're like, he's just seeing things.
He got whiplash. That's how you can tell this is the 70s though, because he crashes into this fence. Like, he doesn't like ruin the whole fence, but there's damage to it.
Right.
And it's like no one is concerned about the cost of the fence.
Like, whatever.
Yeah. I was just like, damn, this guy's gonna be out $200. But no, they were just genuinely concerned for his health / kind of laughing at him a little. I don't know. They were like nice but rude.
Yeah. It is that kind of thing where it's like they probably see it all the time, of like cars that are tired or cars that aren't paying attention. You know, so it's like, oh, he's all right. Now he's just a jackass. You know?
Right. We can laugh at him now.
Yeah, exactly. And so at this diner, this is where he sees, and he's like talking to himself, and he's like, well, what does he want? I didn't even do anything. You know, like that that kind of like rationale that you're doing in your own head when you're kind of scared.
Yeah.
Where you're like, well, it can't be for me. You know, like what could it be? You know.
Right.
And that's when he starts looking at the other patrons and trying to figure out who the driver is, because he knows he has boots.
Yeah, we've always seen her just some brown regular boots, and a hand, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody in the diner has, is like brown
just
regular
a whole
boots
row
and
of
a
boots,
hand.
and it's all white guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of them's wearing sunglasses, which I thought was a very California touch. Like I feel like those are not Texas rednecks; those are California rednecks.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where he eventually decides that one of the patrons is the truck driver, and he's like, "Hey, man, I think we should call it a truce or something like that." And the other guy's like, "What the hell are you talking about? You guessed wrong, buddy."
Yeah.
But
there's a go for it.
I like that because I think a couple, like, every time he's like, I think it's that guy, they'll get out to their truck and it's this dinky little truck that like kind of just like drives away. That looks comically small next to the giant black death.
Right.
You know? And I just kind of like, it's like, God, even with this almost like nothing, like, it's like you really like make like this kind of iconography, you know. This is like this distinction between the
totally
two. He's good.
And, like,
he's a good
and like whenever he's like looking at the people, kind of going off on like, this is kind of like some early Spielberg skills too. Like there's a shot where he's like looking at all the guys, and it's kind of like shot from like the profile of the bar, and it's like shot between like two people's heads, but like each person who he's looking at kind of like comes into focus in like a weird way. And it really makes you feel like he's like, you can tell he's like focused on these guys. He's kind of getting lost in his thoughts, like staring at them. But it also kind of makes them look more confusing and sort of threatening. And like he was able to do that with just like this kind of really interesting shot. And it's like all these like really cool things are just like peppered in there that are going to become like, you know, refined over the years. But that's like the coolest part about this movie, is like the parts you can see of Spielberg in the future.
Because it definitely feels when he's like imagining those patrons, it's almost like we're looking at them through a fisheye lens. It's not, but it looks like that, the way it's isolated, despite the fact that they're like in a line, you know. I think it just kind of like, it is kind of like, oh, this is exactly the one he's focusing on, and so it kind of makes it cool.
It's like it's like crazy, because I assume most like 1971 TV movies did not look this good. So it's like he was changing the game like right out of the gate, you know? So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, totally.
And so then he eventually goes up to the guy, and the guy's like, no, and the guy kind of get into a little scuffle, and then that guy leaves in a different truck, and then the monster truck leaves right afterwards. Which is like, he was never in the diner. He's literally just sitting outside waiting.
Actually, I do like, because his first act of like, oh, I'm standing up for myself, is knocking the guy's sandwich away. Like, he knocked my sandwich. And the guy's like, come on, buddy, I'll buy you a new sandwich.
I'll buy you a beer. Come on, stick around.
He always wants to buy everyone beers. Like, you guys are on the road.
I know, that's another 70s thing. Like, everyone's just drinking a lunch beer.
I know.
It's like, the idea that, like, in your fantasy of reconciling this, you're still buying lunch for the guy who, like, tried to kill you. You know, it's like, he's so.
Well, see, but I think that's the way that people rationalize their fear. It's like, oh, if I just tell this guy who's been stalking me for like 400 miles, if I just tell him like, hey man, no hard feelings, then he'll be like, oh cool, buy me a beer, we're fine.
Like, no, I was a misunderstanding. I don't know.
I think it's that thing where it's like you have your fight or flight, but there is this like rationality that you have in your mind where they're like, okay, but do you like, is this really gonna happen, or is it just your brain telling you that something bad? Like, is this a real fear that you should run from, or are you just like scared and paranoid? And I think that's what this movie does well, is that he never really decides which one he is until the truck driver decides for him, you know.
There's a major part where you're like, nah.
Nah. Because then he leaves the truck. He leaves the thing, and the truck has already left. So he's like, okay, I'm in the clear. And then he's like, then he stops to help a bus, and it's like, okay, man. Maybe just get home. What are you doing?
I think this was also added in too. I was reading that this was another scene that wasn't in the TV cut.
It does kind of feel, not that it feels out of place, but it kind of feels like, why would he do that? Like, he's already freaked out enough,
and he's already
that late. I could see him. I could see him not stopping, but it is smart that they made him a school bus, because he finds a school bus that he has to help, And so it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna help a bunch of kids,
Right.
Right.
And
so
kids are very honest, and we'll get to that here in just 1 second.
Yeah. And so they're also like the way he's gonna help them is he's pushing their car. He's pushing the school bus.
Right. It's like that Little Miss Sunshine thing where it's like if you get a car going down a hill, it'll start. Yeah.
I feel like even that's a little too old even for us, because that happens in the Karate Kid too, where it's like, wait, you can just push it and it'll start. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't really understand the mechanics of that.
Yeah,
but it's also like it's a bus, and this guy has such a little car. It's
I know.
Yeah, there's
you're
no
not even
way.
Pointing downhill yet. Yeah,
I still like it because it has the tunnel. It's a cool scene.
Well, yeah.
Oh no, it's a cool scene. I think
it's a cool scene. It's just kind of like, oh, is that how that works?
Yeah.
And so he's pushing the bus, and then he looks down because they're right outside of a tunnel, and he looks down and the truck is just sitting in the tunnel, like waiting for him. And so then he gets the see, that's the thing too, is that it just feels like a weird detour where not enough happens for us to really detour, because then like the bumper gets stuck or something like that where he can't get it loose.
Mm-hmm. Well, at first he's just like doing it, and like it won't, like he's not pushing the bus at all, and like all the kids, like it keeps on like going like super close into the kids' faces, and they're just like, he can't do it, he can't, his car's too little, he's too little,
he's not enough of a man.
And he's just like, I can do it, I can do it.
It is very like
so awkward. It's like,
you can tell any scene they added because they're like, oh, we really need to lay down the male, the disappointing male,
the ego,
male loneliness that, but then
I know this movie. It like rides that line where it's like, if it was made today, it would totally be like Andrew Tate level.
I know,
but since it's like the 70s and like it hasn't really, well, I don't know. That would be an interesting other conversation. Like, where do these themes lie on like?
Well,
is it anti-feminist? Is it like
they did?
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Someone tried to remake this a few years ago with two women, but it was not great. It was called Wrecker, 2015's Wrecker, and
oh, interesting.
Was it an official remake, or are you just saying that?
No, but literally, like shot for shot, they have like this scene in the diner where they're trying to figure it out by the boots, and it's just it's one of those where it's like 70% the same movie, but instead of a man talking to himself, it's two women talking to each other. So.
See, I think you can't add another person.
It doesn't really work.
Because when you do, it kind of takes away the isolation.
Yeah.
This is also Joyride with Paul Walker.
Right.
And Steve Zahn and Levi Sobieski. That one is that's pretty much this movie as well. They even do the thing where they don't show the trucker. It's also that thing where it's like, if you're going to be followed by a trucker, like Jeepers Creepers also doesn't really follow this idea, but they are stalked by a truck at one point. It's like, you're probably just going to have, like, there's going to be a diner, there's going to be a gas station.
Right.
There's only so much. It's kind of like the same thing with Jaws, where it's like, yeah, man, I don't know if you having a boat out there is copying us, or it's just like, what else are you going to do?
Right.
The shark has to jump on the boat. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I read a lot of desert scripts, and they always have at least one diner, at least one gas station. It's like, all right, we understand.
Mm-hmm.
But so then he pushes it down, and he starts like, it's so funny because like he helps him a little bit, and then the truck is driving one way, and he like speeds off going the other way to get away from the truck. The kids must have been like, that guy is insane.
And then the truck like fixes the bus. The truck like helps everybody get off the road and like pushes the car with ease.
Just to like push it against it,
I know.
Out of spite.
It's so funny that the truck just does that to just show up to the other guy. It's like, how does he know what the other guy's arc is?
How does he know what themes he really needs to learn about his life?
Because the truck is Satan. It's literally a demonic entity.
It does have a supernatural element.
Anton Chigurh, but as a truck.
And so that's when then he goes, the guys, and then he gets stopped at a train station, which is one of the other coolest scenes, or the train crossing. The truck gets behind him and just starts pushing him towards the train.
Right.
Which is it is that, and I think that's why this movie works so well, because they have so many scenes where it's like, this would be your fear on, like, when you're driving by yourself, this is the kind of stuff you're scared of. Like, am I gonna? I remember when I was getting my driver's license, someone like raised their hand because we were talking about train crossings. Someone raised their hand and they were like, "Isn't it true that if you stop your car over the train tracks, it like electricity hits it and it stops working?" And the the driver was like, "No, what the hell?" And it's like, we slowly realized that guy had seen so many movies where the car doesn't start on the train tracks that he thought there had to be some kind of scientific.
This is a thing. Yeah.
But it's like, no, it's just it's called bad writing. But
yeah, it always happens at a moment of really great import, dude. I know. I want that to happen to me.
But I always remember that because I was like, no, man, you watch too many movies and don't seem to understand that.
That's such a funny, like a reverse engineering of this guy's mistake.
It's kind of that thing where everyone has like stuff that you thought about when you were a child and no one corrected you. So you're just like, oh yeah, that can't be right.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like me, I was learning second calculus and I was like, this isn't first calculus. I'm very smart as a child. But yeah, so then he does that and eventually they're able to get the train passes and they're able to get away. And then after that, this is pretty much all just we haven't gotten to the last
lady. He has to go to the reptile farm.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to the last best.
And I remember this because I know Andrew loves segues tangents. You love tangents.
Yeah, you're already on one.
You're famously. So my wife's birthday was recently. And for her birthday, she wanted to see both the original Anaconda and the new Anaconda in the same day as a double feature. So part of that was me trying to make a little quiz of snake and snake movie related facts for her to for the group to be quizzed on. And I was like, I just need one more. And then I was watching this and I look up and he pulls into a rattlesnake farm. I'm like, yay!
Yeah.
So my last question was about Duel and nobody got it because no one's seen Duel. But
this makes me, this scene is like the most, oh yeah, this is a TV movie scene.
Yeah.
Why I mean, it also it does play in, there's in Arizona, there's The Thing, which we've never gone to, but I still want to.
Yeah.
Where it's in 200 miles, The Thing, find out what it is.
Yeah.
And so that is a roadside attraction. So it's like a petting zoo.
By the way.
Have you?
It's like a fake mummy corpse.
Oh yeah.
So, cool.
Mystery ruined.
Cool. Yeah.
Wow, that's okay.
It's okay. That the fun of it is to discover that it's really nothing important.
Yeah.
They also have a car. They're like, this car might have been owned by Hitler, and it's just like a 1930s German car. You're like, come on, guys.
I mean, they're like, who's to say he didn't?
I remember because they go into it and they go, the thing is, no one can prove it.
Damn, correct. So then he's he's at the petting zoo. He gets on the phone.
He's at the reptile / insect. There's spiders and stuff too. It's just
what's
desert
petting?
animal.
Yeah, they're petting. And so then the truck. This is where the truck driver's like, all right, enough of this game.
Right.
And he runs straight towards the phone booth and the entire reptile house and destroys it all. And this is why I say this is the most TV movie part. Because then, the snake is trying to bite him, and then he looks over, and he has a giant tarantula on his.
Which both of these are just so Indiana Jones. These come back later.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh no, get it off of me!" And it's that's what. If you would go to a commercial break right before that, you'd be like, "Hell yeah, what's gonna happen?"
Right.
And of course, the woman who owns it's like, "Why'd he run over my cages?
I need to find my snakes.
My cages." So they eventually they get back into their cars and now they're running. They're both heading towards the finale. In a very fast pace. I don't know. Should we ruin? I do. Well, it's kind of cool. I would say watch it. Find out what happens because it's a pretty cool ending. It has a pretty cool finale, and it also has the last shot is really cool. The way they framed it. That's the cool thing about this. And you can see, and that's why, I kind of get annoyed when people complain about Netflix movies, and it might be Netflix, who knows? But I know for this movie, like Spielberg had like a little piece of paper where he had the entire route like mapped out.
Mm-hmm.
And what they would do is they would just drive up and down the freeway every day, and they would be like, okay, today we're covering this part, and then we're covering this part, and then we're covering this part. But still, Spielberg even had it. It's like, so realistically, this would be the route they would take, and you can see it in this. Like, this movie is obviously a TV movie. TV movies are filmed fast. They have a very low budget, much like Netflix documentaries, except they don't have budgets. But like so much of this movie is inventive. Like the way they shoot stuff, like the scenes, like the very last shot is great when he's talking to the people, when he's trying to decide who's who. Anytime the truck like looms over anything, like it's always like a big menacing kind of image in the frame, you know?
Yeah. And so there's a lot of like cutting around stuff too, like whenever he's like driving, like to keep it exciting, because it is just him on the road a lot, but it's like the way he like cuts to different things even in his own car, like the gauges, his space, the road, his pedal. Like it's really gripping.
Yeah. And so it's that thing where it's like, I mean, I know eventually he would go on to be Steven Spielberg, but there's no reason that the guys who are making movies now on Netflix budgets, and you know, they might not have the same amount of time as like an A24 film, but they're able to like be inventive. And it's like, I wish that they would take some more risks with their like lazy Facebook movies, you know?
Yeah, I get the sense though that a lot of times it's like, oh no, you're filming in these three, like this office set and this like, it's like, here are your sets, you have 1 week to film. I don't know, they're probably not allowed to like push
I think that's too much. But again, I think that's what makes it interesting. Like a lot of the movies we talk about are going to be limited by even more restriction.
That's true.
Than the movies are now. And it's like, but look at what they're doing. Like, look at what he's able to do on a TV movie budget. A first thing out of the gate, you know, he had like TV shows made.
I think he did the first episode of Columbo.
No, it's
a great episode,
but it is really good.
Yeah.
It's one of the first ones.
All Columbos are pretty good, but when you watch that one, you're like, oh, whoa, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah. And I think even like me, there's like that time when you're like, oh, well, I don't want to waste this yet, because I want to wait for my big break before I like show people what I can really do, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, man, you got to hit it out of the gate first thing.
Put it all
you know?
on the page. What's the other Spielberg movie we did?
AI.
Oh, yeah. AI. Go check that episode out right here. There's a link. And just putting it in as we
You know what's funny is I think that Josh only asked that so he could make that joke.
No,
because there's no other. We talked about this so long ago.
Because I was like,
"You got caught, buddy."
No, I was like, well, I could see William picking Minority Report, but I have not watched that movie in a long time.
Yeah.
William picks movies from the same like 3-year periods. They're usually huge blockbusters.
Look, I'm nothing if not consistent.
Yeah. So. It's that thing where I don't think like the other day when we did Bringing Out the Dead, we looked at the films in 1999 and I was like, oh my god, we've covered so many of these. But if you had asked me like, hey, is there any year you guys have extensively covered, I would not have said yes. I would have
been like, no. It's like 1999 to like 2003 is like everything.
Yeah, I'd be like, nah, not really. But it's like, oh no, never mind.
I will.
But yes, so check it out. Check out some of the other films. We're gonna have some cool ones coming up. The first one. Also, if you want to check out our first film, it's right there under its original title, The Last Days, but now it's called The Last Ones on Tubi and Screambox and also a bunch of other ones. So go check it out. Watch it. Let us know what you think and be like, wow, this Andrew guy's got a lot of talent.
He's got a lot of guff. Or that YouTube channel that stole it and changed the poster. You could also check it out there on YouTube.
Go check it out there as well.
Yeah.
They didn't steal it. They just aired it through the permissions of my distributor. But go check it out.
Fair enough.
So yes, we'll see you guys next week on the Bomb Squad. Happy 2026.
Yes.
We're saluting now, I guess.
Salute.
Salute your shorts.
I guess it's the Bomb Squad.